cleave through illusions, but this Naga Siren gets really tanky from physical damage. She still buys Butterfly, she still just builds a ton of armor. So even when you get to this, I want to be God mode Sven, it doesn't guarantee you the punch you need in these team fights. So we shall see. Hopefully D2 Hustlers can restore my faith in the Rogue Knight. You know how I also knew that the Sven hero is not that great right now? I remember I was talking to Fear, and Fear, you know, a man who's won TI playing this hero, he was like, wow, Sven sucks carry, bro. This hero is garbage. I'd rather play it support. If you hear that from Fear, then you know, okay, the hero's not great.
Yeah. But he's also one of those highly volatile heroes that all it takes is like one good buff to like an item or a patch or the way that he plays the game, and he becomes very scary. So I understand why he hasn't really kind of rose to the meta just yet, because he is very much one of those hyper volatile heroes where it's like, when it's a Sven patch, you feel the Sven patch. Like, everybody remembers Superman. Like, everybody remembers that. We don't want to have that shit anymore. I want to have this guy who's flying across the map and two-hitting me as an offlaner, okay? I don't want that. But, you know, also want to see the hero a little bit more.
Okay, we're going to see a contest here over this bounty rune. Divine Llama kind of outplays them, but it's going to give a kill over towards Sweden Strong, who grabs the first blood, bringing down Theoloco. Doesn't even die himself, survives with 15 HP, baby. Alrighty. He's going to go deny himself, presumably, after this first blood's already taken place. Divine Llama does have Firestorm, but Sweden Strong, what you going to do, mates? What you got?
Theoloco,
he's waiting for him.
Get him.
Oh, got him. Oh, that's
you take those.
Nice.
Nice. Like
Sadly, to pull this off, though, that did mean that Divine Llama had to let the entire wave go, so low skills farming it for free. And this game still off to a decent start, despite the fact that they end up losing 3 bounty runes on the side of PuckChamp.
Yeah. The one I feel like factor kind of helped PuckChamp quite a lot was D2 Hustlers. They didn't have any blood grenades. I know it sounds stupid, but the fact that you can throw blood grenade and it hits everybody for 50 damage at the start, and then a 15% move slow for 5 seconds, like, and does damage. Like, in a game where everybody at the start of the game is much weaker, like people just have, you know, a lot less HP than what they previously did. And if you have an item that deals damage early on, that when you have these early skirmishes can get you first blood, maybe even a second kill, that is so worth the 65 gold. And that's why we're seeing a whole lot of supports start with blood grenades, even getting second blood grenades, even a third blood grenade, and just be able to transition these early stage fights into more gold for you, because you get, you know, a little bit more gold out of the system, all that kind of stuff. So it just means you're able to play a little bit faster in this game and get off to a better start.
What I really want to see, Invoker with the baby cosmetic. Kid Invoker running around with grenades. You know, kids playing with grenades. That'll be fun.
Oh my god. Oh my god. After what have you done?
Oh, top lane. Yuma and the gang just farming on this Sven. I mean, that is the one thing about this Sven, right? Yeah, he's not gonna completely demolish the lane, but it's fairly difficult to muscle this hero out of the laning phase. So he's just gonna farm and farm away. Unfortunately, though, the mid laner that he has in Adzentic on this Death Prophet, not a hero that makes grandiose moves too early in the game. So I think we're looking towards a fairly relaxed, chillin', farm-heavy early game here. Fluke, unless you can, is there any lane that you envision tons of action happening from?
I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what skill build low skill goes for. I think maybe they can have a lot of kill threat with like Cold Feet plus some Naga nets, but yeah, nah, man. I think a lot of these lanes are going to be pretty resident sleeper, and it's really going to be on the Olacore as well as Sweden Strong to make rotations.
They brought Sweden Strong down bottom, so they're going to try for this. You spoke about this Cold Feet, and it does end up working out for them. The bonus damage from Sweden Strong ends up being enough. Not sure if it was crucial, but it certainly does help. As they find a quick pick off onto this Undying. Man, they have really been strong on trying to make sure that they rotate Sweden Strong as much as possible. Game 1, he's playing Ricky. Okay, we're playing Bounty Hunter. Game 2, he's playing Ricky. So, our illusion supports back in the meta here, Fluke. It looks that way. Sweden Strong making a strong case for these kind of heroes in the game.
Yeah, potentially. And you can also see that he is able to play in such a free way because of the pathways that you have towards the Twin Gates. Oh no, Divine Llama, this is not the start you want, brother.
Yoloko trying to bail him out with the avalanche, but should still end up dying here. Toss? Actually, no, Yoloko, you tossed him forward. Wrong direction, my friend. Eki ends up being the one to claim the kill. And not the worst part about this, Fluke, he just died and TP'd back into the lane. So what's next for him? It's the walk of shame, fam. Has to come all the way back in.
Yeah, he's got his shoes in his hands. He's not vibing out. He really hopes that nobody sees him walking down the street because this is a rough old start for Divine Llama. This is not good. This is rough. Yeah. Usually this lane goes really well for the Underlord. Usually it's pretty hard for them to take him down, but PuckChamp have done a really good job at rotating Sweden strong. And just circling back to the conversation I was having about the twin gates, this is why you need to ward them up. Not so much about the watchers, you need to ward the actual gate. So if on one side or the other, you need to ward them going towards the dire one or going towards the radiant one, because you need to make sure that you have vision of these heroes that walk into it, because there are a lot of tracks that you can go that gets out of the watcher's vision that still allows you to go in towards the twin gate. So that's how Swedenstrong was able to make this rotation bottom, because so much extra real estate on the outer parts of the lane that you can just walk freely through a bit more of these tracks, get in towards the twin gate, and then you walk yourself towards top lane, and it's pretty easy gank.
Speaking of ganks, man, might happen here bottom.
What is happening?
Yoloko, he finds himself getting silenced up. Divine Llama is going to turn his attention towards Eki. They're looking for the body blocks. They want to catch up onto Hakoda and Yoloko, and they will find the avalanche. One more right click from Divine Llama finishes off the kill. However, revenge is being sought. Low skill and Swedenstrong. We ensnared the Yoloko. Nightmare will be there from Hakoda. Not going to be enough though. Swedenstrong using the tricks of the trade, trying to get himself away from Divine Llama. But this effort will be in vain as he dies nonetheless. A double kill for Divine Llama. They do bring down the Yoloko, but finally some success for D2 Hustlers down on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, it ended up being a tri-lane versus tri-lane. And it's just... I mean... Yeah, first patch jitters, I guess. Well, not jitters, but this is kind of what a lot of teams default to when a new patch does drop, especially in competitive settings, is just fight. You just fight early, you fight fast, you fight long, and eventually you'll come out.
Yoloko tossed back. Oh my god, they have enough damage to kill him. Between ghosts, some damage coming in from the Tiny. Eki came in with cold feet looking for Hakoda, won't be able to find him, and in the meantime, Adzentik just chases down Swedenstrong behind the tier 1 tower. Already gotten a double, looking for a triple. Doesn't have enough range though. Eki not only picked up the shield rune, but also gets away from the DP. Still though, that's good stuff. Unfortunately though, Fluke, that is the first pop of Ghost. Weirdly enough, if I'm Leshrak, I am ecstatic at what just happened. I don't like dying, but I do like DP using her ultimate and not putting any damage on my tower while she does so.
Yeah, you do lose your first life, which is a little annoying, but as you said, first popper goes, it means that you're still able to keep your tower alive. Previous game, Adzentik at this point was, half HP in his tower with a meteor hammer, so definitely feels like he's got a little bit more of this map to play around with. So this game is finally starting to stabilize a little bit here for D2 Hustlers. They've got the Vanguard up on Divine Llama, so he's going to be okay with just kind of sitting around doing whatever. Eki is in no man's land. Did he yoink a Wisdom Rune?
He might have. I think so.
Hakoda.
Let's see. Swedenstrong and Hakoda. Okay, no, 1-1. Yeah. I think he might have just gotten there after it was too late.
Yeah. Pretty smart move for him at 7 minutes, especially with the shield rune.
Might die
but now
here,
it does get taken away.
Yoloko has Avalanche, he has Toss. Divine Llama doesn't have Pit of Malice though. But I think they should have enough damage here. Eki, no way out. And wisely opts not to try for the TP attempt either. Top lane, something interesting has been happening here. Since they've been playing with this try versus try situation so much in the bottom, it's left Sven 1v1 versus the Timbersaw. And although you shouldn't die in that situation, you also put no pressure back on Timber. So we've had a fairly good recovery for Laser's net worth so far. Already caught up to the top 4, and he's completely uncontested. So this is going to keep increasing as time goes on.
Yeah, there's 30 extra last hits for Yuma though. So I think this is where it's going to start ballooning a little bit for the Sven now that he's got the Mask of Madness maxed out Greater Cleave as well. So he's able to just kind of run around in these little jungle camps here and start hitting some creeps. This is the awkward thing sometimes for some of these carry players is nobody knows a farming pattern anymore. Just because of the distance between a lot of these camps. You don't know if you should be setting your attention towards the top side, whether or not you're saying main jungle. But definitely I feel like these heroes are going to be farming creeps fast, farming creeps early, are going to be having a lot better time than some of these other heroes who can't really do that.
Ghost get popped yet again. Second go around. This time it's not aggressive for heroes, but it's aggressive for objectives. They want to at least bring this tower down low. Looks like PuckChamp don't really have any keen interest in defending this one. They don't have a Siege Dragon, but it does seem like D2 Hustlers will nonetheless clean up the tier 1 tower. This is kind of interesting that PuckChamp completely decided against defending this one, but I guess they feel like they require the farm a little bit more right now. So D2 Hustlers do claim it. Tier 1 tower claimed in this mid lane. It's their first tower of the game as they have lost top, but it is as usual. Well, actually, I'm not sure how that's going to change. What do you think? Will the map changes mean that the mid tier 1 isn't the most important tower in the game anymore?
I still think they're pretty important just for being able to take over real estate, but I think you need to make sure that you put a lot of pressure on the outside neutral camps as well. Sweden strong. Oh. It was like 10 HP. Damn.
He's fine,
Feels
bro.
good, man.
Feels good. Feels nice.
Toy.
Alright. We'll see what moves they're going to make from the side of PuckChamp, because so far they've been very static with how they've been approaching these first few minutes of the game. Just trying to get farm and farm and farm. I suppose low skill doesn't mind playing the exact same game again. Nor does Laranov. Nor does Lays. But
Yeah.
somebody has to try and make something happen in this game, right? It's not like they're playing into an OD. This time it's a Death Prophet middle, so she becomes a much more persistent and long-term problem than the OD does with a good start.
Yeah. Especially because I'm not 100% sure if the exorcism change. I guess it nerfs her damage overall, but I guess when she's closer to people, she does more damage. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know how exorcism's really going to work all too much in these fights, whether or not you're going to be dealing more damage or less damage. So, I'll have to wait and see to see what DP scaling is going to look like with exorcism. But I think with PuckChamp, because all three of their cores scale really well, like this team can get to like unkillable status, that they're kind of happy with this. I think maybe you want to try and play a little bit more aggressive with Lays just so that Yuma's not having a free time. But I mean, at this point, I think PuckChamp showed in game number 1 that their tri-core can scale relatively well. And as long as they're not getting completely run over by the 20-30 minute mark, I think they should be happy.
So far, though, they are still in much need of some network to be filtered into Laranav's hands, as he's the lowest of all the cores. Gonna stay that way for now, as they are pushing onto the tier 1 tower for D2 Hustlers in the bottom lane. Siege Dragon is assisting with this, and there's no commensurate push on the other side of the map. So it's gonna be just a quick jump. They're looking for a Coda potentially, but they can't kill off the Ice Blast because he was wise enough to throw out that Nightmare. And Hakoda might actually live. He's actually gonna survive. That was such a sick play from a Bane. And sometimes these Banes have outplays. Y'all don't tell me this hero is boring. It can be exciting at times.
Yeah, he had the hands. He clicked his buttons fast enough. They know that Sweden Strong is around because they have that sentry, so they know exactly where he is. Dust him up.
And kill him off. Bye-bye.
Yeah, okay. Just enough damage. There we go. Thanks. Thank you, Dust. The fact that it's basically like an AoE gem, but also when you get out of Dust area, you're still dusted.
Yeah. Huge buff to Dust.
Crazy.
Dude, look at this. Actually, they smoke up right after the fight, and they got 6 for Bane. So they can find the grip. Oh, big plays. Good game sense from Laranov. TP's out.
Lays.
Lays, though, I don't think he caught the memo. He gets left behind, gets brought down. But it sucks, it hurts. It is a kill. It's more net worth for Adzantic, but Laranov gets to live.
Yeah, true. If they got Leshrac, that definitely would have been a juicy little target. Low skill now is getting close to his Manta style at 12 minutes in, so that feels pretty good. But the die cores, they're starting to scale. Adzantic as well as Yuma, they're starting to get to a point where they're feeling pretty happy with their net worth. Davai Lama's still able to farm really well. Oh, they killed the Courier with the ulti orb. It's actually massive, because now it means that low skill is going to have to wait a couple of minutes before this Manta gets completed.
They're going to try and find a quick pick down bottom. Eki, don't know if he survived this one, my friend. They're going to try with this Ice Blast play, but he knows that he's just running. Just trying to have a good time before he goes down. Will died. A mega kill streak for Adzantic. Just picked up a BKB as well. You got BKB, 3 raindrops, power treads, and a faded brooch. Good luck dealing with this Death Prophet right now. Avoid her at all costs.
Especially once he gets his 10 talent with the 12 magic resist.
Oh boy.
Like, he's going to have the base magic resist from him being an int hero. Well, I mean, him getting a lot of int because he is a hint hero. He's going to have a lot of resistance from that. And then he's going to get the magic resist from his talent. And then he's probably just going to get, like, a pipe from his Underlord body. And then it literally just means that he's going to be basically unkillable. And, like, you look at Timber as well, he's going to be on the same track with the amount of, like, magic resist he's going to have with all the stats that he gets as a universal hero. So, yeah, this I definitely feel like the int into magic resist change again. There's a reason why we took it out. The reason why we took out all these, you know, stats giving resistances and stuff like that, because stats in this game have not been dealt with for a very, very long time, and they have definitely crept out of control. That they just start giving too much, like way too much.
Remember strength giving status resist. Woo!
Oh, dude, you'd play Tiny and you would never be stunned. It was the greatest shit ever.
That was some good times. That was good times.
You'd walk in, you'd get roared, and you wouldn't even stop moving. You'd just be like, all right, sick, see you later, boys.
Speaking of see you later, boys, shout out big play from Eki. Plants the Observer Ward down, scouts out the smoke, breaks it with his own body as well. Scouts the Oracle, definitely knows he has backup behind him. And they were angling towards revealing the Blink Dagger from Yuma, so that's a solid amount of time he hasn't been utilizing this item to farm. However, they might get Lays again, as he's still in a dangerous area on the dire side of the map. They jump him. They should be able to kill him off here. Where's the silence from DP? There it is. There's no Guardian Greaves, no Dispel, no way to get yourself out of this one. So he will end up dead. Adds in sick with the unstoppable streak. They did pop God Strength for this one, so ideally for the team, Yuma will be able to push into the tier 1 tower. At the same time though, low skill mopping up Pagoda and using his corpse to reveal the Manta style.
Yep. It's now feeling very similar to game number 1. It's a 4K net worth lead for D2 Hustlers. They're moving around the map against PuckChamp a whole lot better, who really like to play this much slower style of game and really just get a whole lot of net worth on low skills. So I'm interested to see what the transition is going to look like again here from D2 Hustlers. I think maybe the Death Prophet might be a little bit stronger than what the OD was. Interesting tactic from Sweden Strong.
Sweden Strong has been slept up. Should die here. Absolutely no way to get him out. They throw in the Echo Shell with the Lotus Orb, but he just chooses the trade onto high ground. He's actually alive. They feed Grip instead onto Lays with Exorcism going, but he gets out of here. Cold Feet holds this Death Prophet in position as the Ice Blast lands on her as well. Somehow Sweden Strong not dead. And they don't have a gem this time around. They've already popped the dust they have available. So they cannot catch up to this Ricky. Everybody gets out. I can't help but feel like maybe Hakoda shouldn't have switched targets, because they could have killed the Ricky, but they wanted the juicier pick on Lays. And they're still going for him right now. Looking at him in the mid lane. Toss back into the Exorcism Ghost. Pit of Malice is there, but there's the Echo Shell. Keeping him alive. Does he get out of this? He's rooted up. He's slowed up. But they don't have the damage to bring him down 100%. So he's chilling. Hashtag a space created, baby.
Bro, this Timber hero is balked. Like, I don't know. Somebody needs to check this hero out. This is something else. I understand they don't really have that much damage with the heroes that they have with like a DP as well as an Underlord. But you saw when they put a lot of heroes top and they killed him that time just before with Yuma's God Strength, that he still was able to survive for such a long time. And the way this hero is looking right now, definitely feel like he may get a little bit of the old nerf back coming his way very, very soon. But
733B coming right around the corner. You heard it here first.
Oh, can you imagine like the playoffs happen, or like, you know, these poor Div 2 teams, the little test rabbits, the little guinea pigs up against Ice Frog, and he just watches them, and then, you know, some of the other tournaments come around, the major comes around, and then you just get 7.33B, and everything's all fine and dandy again. That feels bad.
I think this also sucks for Yuma. Look where he's at. He's inside smoke screen. He's been slowed up. Split Earth connects. Ice block. Make sure that he's brought low enough for Lays to mop him up. And now they're coming in with the Dark Rift on D2 Hustlers to try and contest this. Pit of Malice cancels the TP out from Eki. So at the very least they grief a little bit in this top side of the map, but they just lose Yuma just like that. And unfortunately they were trying to set up for a play onto the Naga side on the other side of the map by the graveyard. But Naga reads it. She just presses song. She's out. Absolutely no counterplay option available for D2.
Yep. And again, PuckChamp, they're just doing a good job at not letting this game snowball out of control. They understand that you can get a lot of net worth by winning fights, especially later on. So they're more than happy to just make sure they're not losing map control and not losing this game at a fast pace.
Oh, dude. Shout out Low Skill. He tried. Brings in the illusion to bounce off the Nightmare. Did his absolute best there to make sure that the Ricky could live, but ultimately not enough. They have ghosts, and I think they're tempted to try and pop these, but they also know that a fight is not that easy for them to try and achieve right now. They're sitting on Ice Blast down bottom. Divine Llama is in front of Low Skill, and Low Skill does not have access to the ultimate, but now Divine Llama, he's the one that might be dying. Rod of Atos cancels Low Skill's TP, and Low Skill is actually in a very awkward place right now. Needs to get to the gate ASAP. We'll try to move towards it. They brought in the Sven. Sven got vision. Sven that does the Stormhammer. But there should still be enough damage. BKB popped by Yuma. Really wants to chase Low Skill, and we'll find him. 35 seconds in the grave, no buyback. On the other edge of the fight, Laurenov has gotten involved right now. Pops his Bloodstone, but there's still Exorcism Ghost going for a few more seconds. They do quite a lot of physical damage onto this Lesh. They jump on top of him with the damage. It's enough to get the kill. Here comes Yuma again. Stormhammer going forward onto Eki. A couple of right clicks. Gets a kill. 4 for 1. They catch Low Skill, the big target. They prevent any reinforcements from saving him. And all of this started when they thought they could make a play onto Divine Llama. It turns out he was the one setting up a plays for his team.
Yeah, I think that was a little test from Low Skill. He's like, how strong am I in comparison to the Underlord? He went in with Mantis Style and freshly popped mirror images. Tried to get the kill with the Orchid. Wasn't able to get the kill, so he just had to fall back, and unfortunately for Low Skill, that meant that the rest of the cavalry was able to come in and be able to help him out, and he stayed alive even after getting a Ice Blasted, who does have the shard, so Eki picked that up for me. I appreciate that. It gives me a little bit of extra information on how good it is. From what I've seen so far, I think it's broken. I think it's bonkers. I think it's very, very good, especially once he starts leveling this bad boy up a little bit more.
Dude, look at this. They're actually going to try and steal their obelisk. They're trying to steal Joey's obelisk. Let's see what they can get out of this. Lace, he shows himself in the fight, jumping forward. Does have the Echo Shell on top of him, but there's still more than enough damage. Ice Blast comes through, connects on the 2 targets. They toss forward the Ricky, but they want Laurenov. Yuma going in with BKB, Godstrike, unable to get the kill just yet. The Atlantic is chasing, activates his own BKB. Exorcism Ghosts have now elapsed, so they won't have the damage to kill off the Leshrak, but they'll be more than able to mop up Eki. As he dies, they cannot protect their Tormentor. And Joey's Tormentor should get taken away. Free shot for the side of the D2 Hustlers. And game 2 looking way better for them overall.
Yep. This game, I think they understood from game number 1 about the issues that they had. That they weren't being aggressive enough and taking the objectives of the map away from PuckChamp, because obviously a lot more objectives on the map now. Tormentors, Watchers, Roshan, you know, all these different areas of the map that you really want to take over and get, instead of just, you know, getting your towers and then going and farming yourself, because there's much more space on the map that players can farm. So you need to make sure that when you get one of these early advantages, that you take over one of the big objectives on the map, whether it be the Tormentors or the bottom side of the map. And you have to figure out which one that your team wants to try and play for, because you need to start to squeeze the rest of the team as one player you know, soaks up the map. You need to make it so like the cores from the enemy team do not have enough space for them to farm out together, especially when you're playing up against a Tricor. No BKB.
There's no BKB, so that's going to be a very quick kill that ends up happening. Yuma goes in with BKB, also not at the ready just yet. He pops it eventually to bring down Low Skill. Will succeed in doing so. Tiny, found a nice avalanche here. They just mop up Eki, toss forward onto Yuma. They want to make sure that the Sven is in the middle of the fray, but he gets himself caught up with the Split Earth. Here's the magic damage from Laurenov. He's the real carry right now. Can they kill Yuma? Yuma life stealing to safety. He almost got back into a point where he could fight back against Laze as well, but he does eventually get popped. Laze get caught out with the Fiend's Grip. He's losing mana because he already threw out the Chakram, so he's also not that dangerous once the Fiend's Grip ends. They mop him up, they kill him off, they get a team wipe. D2 Hustlers lose 2 of their big cores, but make PuckChamp pay for every drop of blood that they extract.
Yeah, that was crazy. You could tell Yuma was a little scared, but as soon as she hit the fuck it button as like a carry and you just stand and fight with like lifesteal, I think a lot of people forget how strong lifesteal is against other heroes. 24% lifesteal on a hero like Sven is crazy, especially when you're sitting there and getting a lot of these right clicks off with like Echo Saver. If you have a crit, you're going to feel really good. And you're just able to live through a lot of these fights. And the fact that he just stood there, was able to get the extra kill onto Lorinov was crazy. I thought that he was definitely going to go down before Lorinov goes down and then maybe the Leshrac takes over the fight. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is enough for you to start to become a believer. But from what I've seen from Yuma so far, he's playing this well because they're playing fast. And I think that's the big thing for the Sven. Is he hits this critical timing much earlier than what the Naga does, and the fact that he's a natural counter to her, he's got these big items, and now he's going for a massive damage item with the Daedalus. That, you know, once his Daedalus timing hits, God Strength is going to be very, very scary, and if they're able to close off low skill and really kind of corral him into a rough spot now with his Aegis, then it's going to be hard for them to try and play the map. They need to kill this in 30 seconds because both will run away.
Nah, they got this. Not an ammo believer from in that fight. I'm fully on board with like Sven at this stage of the game, you know? It's easy to get him online. With those God Strength, he does an outlandish amount of damage before the enemy team is ready. But what I really believe in, my friend, if I'm going to be completely honest, is the power of Pipe of Insight. If Divine Llama doesn't have Pipe in that fight, it's a very different engagement. But
true,
because he does, Lorinov can't find himself being this overwhelming machine of damage. And they wind up being able to easily clean up the fight. At the same time, though, let me not deny Yuma. Yuma played well. And whoever made the call to toss him forward in the fight is also a genius. Just be like, guys, if I'm there hitting these heroes, they will all die. So shout out to them.
Very true. Also, feels bad, man. Thiola Core lost the 50-50 roll up against Adzentic. He's Death Prophet player. So feels bad when it comes to the shard roll. I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's tree grab against a fear. You're probably more happy that it went to the DP than it is to Thiola Core, but it's nice to give these supports some net worth, man. They're sad. They don't have their tomes anymore. They don't just get their free golds from like vibing out. They have to get kills now. Yep. It's rough.
I mean, we saw in the previous game, right, that when core heroes are like level 20, we had support at level 11.
Yeah.
And even in this game, right, Sweeter Strong is level 10, Lasers level 17. So you see Eki also at level 11, not really that high up on the XP mark. Very easy pick off to make. I think it's a really big problem that we're not getting experience onto Eki though. Like the difference between level 1 and level 2 Ice Blast is fairly significant. So them not being able to find that for him means that whenever he does land it, it doesn't feel as impactful as it could be otherwise.
Yeah, I wonder where all their wisdom runes have been going. I wish that was something we could see in like the post game. It was the amount of wisdom runes you would get. Whether it's just D2 Hustlers taking over that side of the map or whether or not it's just PuckChamp are just like forgetting about the wisdom runes every 7 minutes and someone just like walks across and goes, oh hey, this is cool, and they get the wisdom rune.
Like, oh, this is nice. Hey, thank you.
Yeah, it's like you greedy cores all the time. They just walk in and be like, yes, thank you.
We need to find out all of the stat sides. I wonder if they've been working hard today to add the shield runes, to add the wisdom runes, or if they're all slacking, just playing Dota. Imagine.
Playing the patch themselves.
So we actually haven't spoken that much about neutrals this game. And remember the question I was asking you in game 1? How many can be on the same team? Or in the same game, rather? This game has 4 faded brooches. 2 per side. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of nuts.
Why I was confused as to why iStroke brought this item back in, especially as a tier 1 item. Like, what? Like, I don't know what's going on. The fact that there's 2 Philo Stones on the side of PuckChamp as well is kind of crazy. I feel like you could probably have... I feel like you could probably have every hero in the game have the same neutral item if they all pick it. Like, I understand everybody has their individual choices, but I'm sure there's some permutation of, you know, an insane amount of odds to have 10 heroes have the same 5, well, not the same, well, one item that's the same in all 5 of their choices, and for them to then pick it as well.
All right, I think let us know in chat.
Extremely low.
Everybody in chat, let us know how many you've seen in one game. Down bottom, they're just going to make a quick run onto Lorinov. Dude, that was... Woo!
Yeah, this Sven. Big boy. Oh, he's going Harpoon. Let's go.
Dude, this Harpoon, when I read Harpoon, right, I was like, okay, there's so many heroes that buy Echo Saber that are just way better now. Like, they just look so good.
I think the crazy thing is, so I played a game today and I played Juggernaut with a Harpoon. Don't blame me, guys. I won. Okay,
you
relax.
played Jug? Oh my god.
I played Jug Harpoon. It felt amazing. It felt insane. The amount of time. Oh no, low skill.
Nice one.
Okay, it's a little bit of a bravado test, but the fact that like I thought it was going to be an item for these cores that don't like building blink, just as like a gap closer. But now that I think about it, it's more for these heroes that like building blink as well, because you blink in, you get your first initiation, they force stuff away, you harpoon them back. Absolutely obliterate them with harpoon.
Mid lane, Sweet and Strong is getting obliterated by the damage from D2 Hustlers. They take him out. Eki's been doing his best to try and intercept some of these ganks, but you're playing an Ancient Apparition. Your escape options are not that of a Mirana, so he's been punished quite heavily and quite often. Will he be allowed to TP out? He does. The Article can't get there in time with the Avalanche. Still though, that's a 12k gold lead for D2 Hustlers. They're closing in the map right now. Yuma feeling incredibly strong, just finished off the 4 Harpoon. And I think one of the issues for PuckChamp is that unlike in game 1, where they had Mirana and they have this Bounty Hunter, you know, heroes that can, like this Ricky can still sort of play the edges of the fight, but Eki just can keep getting caught out. And if he dies, that's just it, right? It's not like you can buy back, well, I'm gonna throw in a Moonlight Shadow, I can come back with a stun. All you have is like buy back Ice Blast and hope to God they're still in the same location.
Yeah. And you can see now that D2 Hustlers, they're feeling a little bit less confident with the Aegis going away from them now, so they want to try and play this nice. I don't know if anybody saw that, but Theolicore just pulled an entire crit wave and brought it to Yuma. That is
like a boss.
That is some support mentality right there. I feel like most other tinies would have just avatossed the crit wave and gotten out, but it is like, hey Yuma, you like hitting crits, bro? Let's get this. I do want to have a quick little check up on some of the items that we have coming up. It is interesting that we have the Dandelion Amulet for the Timbersaw. I think this makes him insanely strong at staying alive. There's also a Gossamer Cape for Adzantic, so it means that the first attack from the Nagathorn isn't going to go too far. I don't think it's that broken for Adzantic right now, just because there's not like a PA or like a Wraith King or a Sven that like dodging that first attack is like allows you to react, right? So it's pretty good with the move speed that he gets, but I mean, Fated Brooch does the exact same thing, but just gives you mana as well. So maybe that might have been better for Adzantic. I like that we have the Vindicator's Axe as well for the Sven, because he loves both of those, and I'm pretty sure, quote me if I'm wrong here, anybody, that Mask of Madness procs the 30 damage for you from Vengeance.
It should. It should.
Yeah. So basically you get 30 damage every time that you pop Mask of Madness. And then if you ever get stunned during Mask of Madness, you get 15 armor. So you're like, hell yeah. And plus you're playing against an Orchid as well. So you will be silenced. And same with Ricky. So like you're playing against a lot of heroes that will silence you.
Yeah. All right, let's see his indeed, plus 30 damage. I was looking at his damage. He did get the plus 30 when you're silenced up. Down bottom. Naga and Laze, they need to play very carefully as they're being smoked into. I'm very glad Laze went back for the Butterfly. He was building Aghanim Scepter first, and I was very skeptical, but Butterfly forcing an MKB out of the Sven feels good. And the Sven is going to go on to Laze right now, forcing him to use BKB. Will attempt to mount an escape. The Oracle throwing forward a tree, and they've actually got them in a pincer maneuver with the Dark Grip, but they're turning back. They want to try and bring down Yuma. Even through his BKB, he cannot survive against this. Brought down by Laze. They jump onto the Bane as well, killing him off. Buy back onto the Ancient Apparition. Eki wants to involve himself in this fight. They want to try and save Laranov. Laranov found an amazing 2-hero split earth. They're still chasing him though with Adzantic, and Adzantic should be able to find this kill. He does get it. The ghosts are also going hand here on top of this Timbersaw. In the meantime, the Yoloko and the gang, they're busy holding this Naga Siren in position, and now low skill forced to song and try and escape. Does he have the TP? He does, but Eki not so lucky. So he's gonna force back onto the high ground. Not gonna even bother leaving behind any vision because he doesn't have any. Just gets brought down by Adzantic. This Death Prophet, man, they forgot how strong she can be even in this new iteration of the patch. She does 8,600 damage in that one fight. My god, that's so much damage.
Yeah. So I think maybe DP is strong. Very strong.
That seems right.
The fact that she does more damage when they're closer to you, and the fact that she's able to constantly just stay on top of a lot of these heroes. Like watch this fight, right? Like, Yuma pops his BKB early because he thinks that this is going to be a fight that he needs to try and play around with, and then he just gets kited out by the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. But it's all about Adzentic. The fact that he has Ghost going the entire time, he's just able to stand there with, I think he got like 8 casts of Spirit Siphon off. The fact that he's just able to stay alive so long. Solo zones out 2 cores by himself, kills them both, and then turns around and gets the extra kill onto Eki, all while low skill has to just TP away from him. Like, this hero, I think, is insanely strong right now, and probably will be what teams are thinking about coming into their next couple of series, especially for Western Europe. The fact that a lot of these teams did really like Death Prophet already, and now they're just showing once again that this hero didn't really get touched. She got changed a little bit, but she's still bonkers.
And honestly, for me, when I was looking at the patch notes, I was like, y'all didn't address Spirit Siphon? Okay. Still an S tier hero. This spell is genuinely incredible. Like, every time I see it in action, we saw it in that last fight, I'm just like, wow, this exists, huh? Okay. Seems legit to me. And, you know, with the new buff up that you were mentioning with the Exorcism Ghosts, the closer they are, the more damage they dish out. That means inadvertently your Axe is also crazy strong if she's right next to you.
Very
that
true.
will do damage, bring in the next iteration of damage. Spirit Siphon Axe, can't wait to see it. And it might be coming later on in this game as Roche is about to respawn. It's only the one with the cheese coming soon, but PuckChamp don't want to let it happen for free as they smoke up. It's a 5 hero movement. What can they find here? Sweden Strong taking the circuitous route so he can try and get a better angle of vision. And now they smoke on D2 Hustlers. They find the Pit of Malice onto one. Fiona for the job behind Eki and Loranov, but they can't burst them just yet. Sweden Strong, he will die on the edge of the fight. Eki dies as well after dropping down the Ice Blast. Bioloko, the only one falling low on D2 Hustlers as his life gets taken away. I don't think D2 Hustlers mind too much. They just buy back instantly on Bioloko. Yuma looking for a blink target. He has blink low skill. Be very careful, my friend. Be very, very, very careful. And they just gonna go back into the pit here. PuckChamp still want to try and fight this. They have Song available. Chakram can scout out who's in the middle of the pit. And yeah, like you mentioned, there's no more BKBs. Bioloko, though, he finds low skill. Can't find the toss back. Sweden Strong getting caught out yet again. And this is a dieback on a Ricky if he goes down. And indeed he does. Mega kill streak for Adzentic. Eki is about to respawn. Has the Ice Blast in 3 seconds. Would he try to throw this in from downtown? He TP to the tier 2 tower. And they come up the hill. D2 Hustlers. They want to force this fight. Low skill. Goes first onto Hakoda. Pops his BKB, but he gets himself grip for his efforts. And here is Yuma trying to beat down onto him. Doesn't have access to a God Strength anymore. So doesn't have enough power to punch through the BKB. But they will do it when the BKB elapses. Divine Llama with the wicked 6 streak. But now Lays realizes that he has to try and run somehow. Nice little force off there from Eki. Timber Chain away as well. And Lays staying alive for the time being. Unfortunately, Eki will not be so lucky. He dies. But the more important thing is that D2 Hustlers have officially secured the Aegis and dramatically won their team fight.
Yeah, this is probably what they're expecting from game number 1 here for D2 Hustlers, but the change now is Adzentic does a lot of damage. He's starting to become the carry for this team as well. Yuma. The thing is, when you have a dual core like this, even if you are against a tri-core, it's a dual core where you have to pay attention to the Sven. And if you don't pay attention to the Sven, he's going to cut you to pieces. But you have to deal with the Adzentic DP, and it's like these 2 dual cores, they both require your fullest attention to deal with them in a team fight, because otherwise they tear you to pieces. Whereas for PuckChamp, they've gotten to the point now where their Sven is good up against the 2 cores in the Leshrac as well as the Nagasar, and that he can kind of just run in there and deal with them, and they have to, you know, deal with him in turn. And that just means that DP can put her emphasis onto the Timbersaw and even onto like things like the AA and the Ricky. So I like how D2 Hustlers are making sure that in these fights as well that they're not putting their DP and their Sven in the same kind of channel, right? Like you don't want to have both of them fighting next to each other on the same kind of target. You want to make sure that Yuma's going either onto the backlines or even onto the Nagasar, and while Adzentic gets a little bit of a flank and comes in on a different angle, so you can pull apart the attention that PuckChamp need to give these cores, especially when you're this far ahead, when you're 12k above. all your cores are feeling very, very happy. You've got a lot of mitigation with the Underlord, and you just force the frantic nature of this game to put more pressure onto PuckChamp than there actually is in the game. And that just means that you're able to win these team fights. And now they win a team fight, they abuse Fiend's Gate, they get themselves another Tormentor kill, they get themselves their final ag shot, I believe, in the game. No, Theola Core still lost the roll, which is hilarious to me, but still ends up being a better one than all the other ones. So they're probably pretty happy with how this is going. So yeah, D2 Hustlers, I think they figured out what they did wrong in game number 1, and they've really pulled it back here for game number 2.
Yep. One of the things that we also see vastly improved over game 1, Yuma. We see low skill win for this butterfly as expected on the Naga sign, but Yuma itemized against it. Didn't buy MKB, but did go in for this Bloodthorn. So once they can place this rend, it'll guarantee that all the things will have True Strike.
Ooh.
And also you can, now that the BKB has changed, you can place this before the BKB duration ends.
Yep. So
that as soon as it finishes, low skill is suddenly in a very huge heap of trouble. Does still have an 8-second BKB though.
What? Did anybody else see that interaction with Yules and BKB?
What, that he
he Yulesed him while he was BKB'd, but he wasn't able to move.
Uh-huh. Replay, please.
Yeah.
Replay, please.
I'm pretty sure.
Por favor.
I don't know, like that was weird. Dude, the way that they changed BKB, the interactions that I found in 2 games of casting, wild. Redonkulous.
They're going to need some redonkulous interactions here for PuckChamp if they want to save their base as they're being pushed into. Ghosts are flying everywhere. Tier 3 tower in jeopardy. They did finish off a Hex on this Timbersaw, and the Naga Siren is slowly but surely split pushing on the other side of the map. So they might trade tier 3 for tier 3. And Bane went back, so they actually have a slight numerical advantage if the Naga returns here for this fight. But they'll be happy to just take the tier 3. This is massive. The fact that this Naga was able to solo zone the entire team so that they couldn't go up the hill. If they end up winning this game, Fluke, this will be the play. It'll be this moment that changed everything for them. Especially if they can catch some kills right now in the retreat during the smoke.
Yeah, especially because she got a lot of damage on the range racks as well.
Yuma stop to farm. Yuma might just stop to be killed off because here's a Hex. They have the damage potentially. BKB will come out, and there's gonna come the TP. Nobody has a bash. No one has any way to cancel this. Still, though, you did force him to use BKB. Is now down to 6 seconds. Closer than expected.
Yeah. It's definitely a clap back here from PuckChamp, and I agree with you. I think the way that Low Skill played that previous fight, getting himself some objective kills, and if he gets that range racks, then that just means that the range crits for that bottom side of the map are going to be, I don't want to say worthless, but that like they become very not important for D2 Hustlers to try and deal with, right? Because the gold from them scales half as much as what it used to, and obviously it being a super creep, it's worth less than what a regular creep is going to be worth. So it is definitely going to be a rough time to try and deal with that bottom lane most of the time, but it's still kind of crazy that it's like it's 10,000 lead for D2 Hustlers, but it feels like this game is kind of even, right? Like it feels like depending on how these fights go and who really like kites out the BKB from this fan, if they can deal with Adxantic early on in these fights, that PuckChamp can really come back into this. But I mean, D2 Hustlers, they've been playing these fights to a T. They may have, you know, potentially been a little bit out macroed by Low Skill, but I mean, that's probably the only blip on the radar that I've seen from them so far.
I think for me, one of the big things about how this game is going for them is how well they were able to do against Lorinov early on. He's been sitting at the bottom of the net worth of these cores for pretty much most of this game. I think there were blips where he was a little bit ahead, but they made sure that he's not enjoying himself as he was in game 1, and has translated quite greatly into ensuring that they can reliably kill him in these fights. He's died 5 times already, certainly not looking to die more. However, the later this game goes, Fluke, eventually if Leshrac gets like Octarine, if he builds another E-Blade, this is another phenomenal game for E-Blade. And if he gets tanky enough, I start to worry again for D2 Hustlers. So they need to keep their foot on the gas right now. They're attempting to do so with the smoke. Sadly, they don't find anything. They've already TP'd out. They've left some vision behind them as well on the side of D2 Hustlers. So D2, yeah, don't farm their jungle, but PuckChamp has also been bought a little bit more time.
Yeah, this game really has started to grind down to not much, right? And as you said, the Sven's eventually going to get out carried because he relies so heavily on his BKB. They're going to start getting the HP that they need as well. Low skill is playing around with this Trickster's Cloak on the left-hand side of this map. I think they know that he's around here somewhere. Oh, low skill, he walked the high ground.
Oh no, low skill. Does he get off the song anyway? He does, but they've got BKB on Yuma. He might still survive this, actually. He's going to try mate. I don't know about that TP. I mean, BKB was about to finish on Death Prophet and the Sven. It's an awkward decision to make. Mid lane, they jump speed and strong, should be an easy kill. And we're talking about how they might get to a point where they can out-carry D2 Hustlers. That doesn't happen if everybody just keeps dying. As they bring down speed and strong, Eki is certainly going to be get to right as well. Yuma with the double kill. Man, PuckChamp.
All right.
2 steps forward, 4 steps back as they find themselves having to defend the high ground yet again with the tier 3 tower. Unfortunately though, there are no ghosts. I say that, never mind. Adds and tick refreshes, goes straight into the exorcism, and they're probably going to force some buybacks and or get a lane of racks for themselves.
Yeah, Laurenov popped BKB as well, so that's yeah, that's rough. Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to fight this, right? Because they usually try and rely on BKB CDs, but Adzentic Refresher Orb, so he's going to have his back. He's got the Ghost running as well. Yuma, he's the one that is lacking the BKB, but it's going to be very hard for them to initiate, especially if they did buy back on any of their heroes. It would have been hard for them to play around them, but Low Skill does respawn. They don't lose too much. It is just one lane of racks, so we've seen in the past you're able to come back from this. It's not the worst, not the end of the world, but I think Roche is super important for these next couple of fights.
Not only have we seen in the past, we saw in the last game that 1 lane of racks isn't enough. D2 Hustlers were 2 lanes of racks up before they lost their first one and still ultimately lost the game, so can never take anything for granted in Dota 2 right now, especially with everything being changed up. They smoke up on PuckChamp, looking for somebody to be able to jump on. Yuma just bought out for a Refresher Orb, so he will have a dual Bloodthorn, but more importantly, dual BKB and dual God Strength for the fights.
He's going to be hard to kite around for 12 seconds. They do have... Does Net go through BKB? No, it does not.
No,
I think it's the Ags that goes through BKB, right?
Yeah. The Ags read it should. And they're going on to Adzentic. He TP'd into this fight, wanting to force it, and it looks like it might have been a decent idea. They're going in onto Laurenov. Yuma already got off the BKB, so he can cleave him down even through the sleep. And now they want their attention towards Sweet and Strong. He doesn't have a way to escape this. They have the vision for him. Toss forward. Ooh, Eki. TP's out just before any kind of spells come in from the Bane. They didn't have Nightmare or Grip though, so he probably escapes anyway.
Oh, Low Skill. They ganked him with Feedskate.
Dude, is he actually dead? Low Skill? He doesn't have Song anymore. He does have BKB, and he has TP out in another 20 seconds. They're gonna still try though. They know where he's at. They're smoking for him. Goes in with the Trickster Cloak, trying to hide under the cover of darkness. They really want this kill.
Oh,
this is so worthwhile. They got him. Dude, 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Can he survive 8 seconds? There's the BKB. Song TP in 3, 2, 1. And he's got it. He's got it. He's safe. He's safe. No, he has no song. He doesn't have song. He doesn't have song. Oh, God. I didn't realize he still doesn't have song. My bad. Well, the cooldown's a bit too long. He popped it on the top side of the map. Comes bottom. It's still on cooldown for another 15 seconds. And he's dead, my friend. That is no a buyback available, but DP, Underlord, they're already beating onto your tier 3 tower, so you're gonna have to buy back sooner rather than later if you have any hope of only playing against 1 lane of super creeps.
Yeah, that was a bit rough there for Low Skill. I think this is something that a lot of people really do forget about with Underlord is Fiendskate, like just getting ganked by Fiendskate. Especially now with the twin gates as well, you have to worry about the top to bottom rotation. Can be very, very scary, but Divine Llama has been showing us time and time again. This isn't the first time he's done this with Fiendskate. He's one of the players in the offlane that really abuses this this spell.
Yeah.
And you can see now, like they literally just Fiendskate into Roche Pit, kill Roche, and then if they do it, I mean, they won't be able to do it fast enough, but if they did it fast enough, they Fiendskate back down bottom, and then they're just like inside the base again instantly. But they can just walk here, kill Roche, go over to the twin gate, go back bottom, and walk in through that bottom lane. And it just means that they move so much faster across the map than anything that, you know, we've seen in the past. Even though the map is 40% bigger, it doesn't feel like it when you have these kind of global abilities.
Oof. All right, so they've gotten themselves an Aegis on Yuma. The Sven looking very strong in this game. Also, shout out to Hakoda for how much farm he's been able to pick up on his Bane. Blink BKB, and obviously the telescope making a massive difference as well. Diolico has also been having a great game. Blink Wind Waker this early on. Just everything coming clutch for D2 Hustlers as here they come for potentially the last fight. Underlord heads up the hill, but he knows he won't die here. Still has BKB, still has the Pipe of Insight to pop, and he knows he has backup as well. As into coming in with these ghosts. They want to get the second lane of racks here completed and then finish off the range racks down bottom to get the full megas. Yuma jumps in, just wants the melee, pumps BKB to make sure that this can happen. They got hit with the Ice Blast, but what do they care? Not enough damage to bother them. They jump in right now, they get the Hex out onto Yuma. Can they kill him in this duration though? The answer is no. He's still alive, getting healed up. There's going to be a Song of the Siren popped by low skill, but they don't kill anybody during this song. This is just to bail Lorimoff out of trouble.
The song meant that Sven survived, man.
Yeah, it does.
They songed when he had double chakram on him. Oh, that's just a little rough. They have found Hakoda though.
I'm not sure if Hakoda even dies that easily. Like, he dies, but that was a bit of effort from them to bring him down. Still though, at least they're playing away from their base. That's the most important thing for me right now. They're only one range rack short of being megaed completely. So the last place you want to be is on your half of the map where it's easier for D2 Hustlers to invade the base and make that happen. Yeah.
And now they kind of just have to be on the aggressive for PuckChamp because there's one racks left. It's the range racks before you get megaed. At that point, even with the Timbersaw, I don't think you're really going to be able to outlast these fights just because it's so hard for you to try and deal the damage up against these guys just because it feels like that there is a little bit too much survivability from them, especially with the Death Prophet. So, yeah, it definitely feels like they need to try and get some sneaky stuff. Finally, Theola Core gets his Aghanim Shard. Congratulations. So he's feeling good that he now has no charges on his
Is he the
grab.
last one in the game to get it? Yeah, he is. It's the last one in the entire game to get it.
No, yeah, true. To be fair, a lot of the other ones are actually like really good for the heroes that they're on, whereas like Theola Core is like Garbonzo. Like he's just like, why do I even care? You know?
Like, what have you done for me lately? I guess that.
To be fair, if this game goes like 70, 80 minutes and he transitions to like Ags Daedalus,
oh, you know, shit.
I'd feel good about it.
They were doing a Dark Rift play. They thought about it. They were going to do some cool stuff top, but nobody home. They've already left on the side of PuckChamp. No Aegis to collect either. Well, now it is about how everything that matters now is buybacks. That's the only important statistic for PuckChamp. Let's just smoke up. They're going to find Hakoda. This should be an easy kill for them. Doesn't have an Aeon Disc, has no way to prevent this from happening. And as he dies, D2 Hustlers still feel strong enough that they might contest this area, but we'll see how far PuckChamp want to go. Sadly, they did pop the Ice Blast. If they still had Ice Blast, maybe they can aggress into this, but it feels like they kind of need this against some of these tankier heroes, especially the Sven and the DP. Otherwise, there's too much sustain between the Spirit Siphon of this DP or just Sven being Sven. Although Sven doesn't have any lifesteal himself anymore though, so that could be a window of opportunity for them.
Yep. So now we are looking at the start of the game with 20,000 gold. I still haven't seen Sven harpoon someone. Have you?
Yes, he harpooned twice, I think.
Oh, okay.
Once in that fight just in front of the Roshan pit, and then once in that massive blowout that they had around bottom.
I gotta pay more attention to Yuma. Harpoon favorite item.
And I think he used it, if I'm not mistaken, onto the... At some point when you were taking down the Tormentor, the Joey Tormentor, I saw that it was on cooldown, so I imagine he might have used it then. I'm not sure.
Yeah, true.
Could
probably even just use it if you're like running around the jungle, right, or something like that. It's like 19 seconds. Costs no mana, which I think is crazy that it costs no mana.
Yeah,
But
I agree, it's nuts, dude. We'll see if he uses it now, though, as they're gonna smoke up, looking for a fight. Aegis is about to expire. Oh, Bane Puck BKB as a coda. Got jumped on, but here they go onto low skill. Yuma really wanted to try and find a kill. Didn't get anything just yet as they blow up a coda first and foremost. And now we're coming back onto Divine Llama. Divine Llama's about to die. Enki does get taken out, but it's still not going to be good enough. And Yuma certainly wants to watch himself. Exorcism going all around here for Adzentic. He's trying to chase down some of these targets. Yuma brings down Speed and Strong. And here Adzentic gets hit with the Ice Blast. Gets hit by a low skill. Low skill going to be able to bring him down. He's dead. Does have buyback though. In the meantime, Divine Llama pumps BKB on the left side of the fight, looking for Laurenov. Won't be able to find him. BKBs and TPs out. Blaze in the midst of Yuma and Theoloco will find himself getting burst down by the Sven. So that is a very chaotic fight that ends up happening here. It does require a buyback out of this Underlord. Buybacks on the supports as well on PuckChamp. But in the grand scheme of things, I would much rather be in the PuckChamp side of things after that fight, as they get the lion's share of the gold, but also a massive amount of experience.
Yeah, that was a very, very messy fight for both these two teams. There wasn't really any concentrated fronts for them to fight around. It was hard for them to lock onto any of these heroes. But the big thing for me is PuckChamp baited all of the BKBs. That was double BKB from both the Death Prophet as well as the Sven. They did a beautiful job at cutting the Sven away from the Death Prophet and forcing it so they could focus on one of these cores one at a time. This is what I talked about a little bit earlier, is like when you have these two cores that I like this in regards to the Sven and the DP. If you're able to separate them, if you're able to make it so you can just focus on one of them at a time and, you know, kite one of them around, force one of them to use things disadvantageously, then it really does mean that it mitigates the mental gymnastics that you need to do in a team fight and be like, okay, now I need to try and do this against the Sven and then do this against the DP so I can kill her or I can kill the Sven or, you know, get away from the Sven, all that kind of stuff. And if you're just focusing on a DP and just say, all right, as long as I stay away from her Spirit Siphon and she doesn't get all this healing off and then we hit her with an Ice Blast, she's going to die. And that's exactly what happened. She did die. So yeah, it's a little rough. Can we... Well, hold up. I was just like, I just checked Eki. It's 55 minutes and he's level 16. What?
Dude, I was about to bring this up and
Sven
say,
is 28.
You said it, bro. Lack of experience in this game for these supports. They're struggling. Bane is also level 17. 55 minutes into the game.
Dude. Sven is 28 and A is 16. That is... Oh, that is cap, man. These support players, they are down bad, bro. Down bad.
Hating life right now. So
what?
Big... I mean, this is what happens. Games like this, your cores are taking everything from you. I feel especially bad for Hakoda. Look how close he is to 18. He's like, guys, I've almost got level 3 Fiend's Grip, boys. It's so good. Just maybe have a creep here or there. No, the creeps are mine. He's got
Dude, low skill took the Wisdom Rune from Eki. It was 2.2k experience. That would have given him a level and a half. God, give him the Wisdom Rune.
Low skill needs 25, my friend. That's what's up.
Ah. Yeah, but surely you want level 18 Ice Blast. An extra 1%. 32 damage for us, an extra 12 damage per second, and it lasts an extra second on top and does 400 extra damage, like 100 extra damage, and 10 seconds less cool. Like, come on.
Roshan! Agent Roshan! Dude, he's almost out of the fight with the big bash. Alright, Eki's dead. Gets jumped on. Aeon Disc will be there. Speed and Strong dies first. We get off a Fiend's Grip on our Timber Soul. Will Yuma be there to supply the damage? And indeed he will, but the Split Earth from Laranov bails out the Timber. Timber will live, no skill, try to go in with the escape after getting off the Song on the Siren, and he TPs out to safety. Has the bots too, so that goes really, really quickly. At the same time though, they have caught Laranov. He does not have BKB TP, as his TP is still on cooldown for another 9 seconds. And he is very dead. But at the same time, this Bloodstone making this a more difficult affair than D2 Hustlers thought it would be. They still managed to bring him down though. Had they had vision on this high ground, at the moment that Roshan bashed Yuma, that would have been a sick time to engage the fight. But sadly, they didn't have the immediate jump, and they end up not being able to capitalize on that slight moment.
Yeah, and you can just see the issues when you're fighting in these tight little choke points as well, playing into these heroes. I think they did a beautiful job. Oh, there's a fight bottom. Llama, he brought back, I'm pretty sure.
Llama did indeed buy back, so if he dies here, it's a dieback. Adzentic though, he still has access to a buyback if needs be, but the question is, does low skill? And low skill does, because low skill is indeed about to die here, taken out by Yuma. It's gonna be a massive streak now, beyond godlike for the Sven. And they get some megas at the same time. While this is happening, Theonical is busy finishing up the range racks by himself, and they dark grip forward. Look at my man's Divine Llama go. They get the quick pick, or they're looking for it onto Eki. Still alive for a moment. 3 more seconds until he had his Aeon Disc. He dies before it comes out. Lorinov and Nagasai both forced to buy back Fluke. These are the big heavy hitters on the side of PuckChamp, and now if they die again, the game just ends.
Yep, this is struggle street right now. Oh, Theola caught 3-man avalanche.
Finds
they got the grip
kill
too.
The grab onto low skill. They find the feed's grip. BKBs were popped though, so they can maybe turn this fight around. They're going in with the damage. Lorinov will find himself caught up with the nightmare. Low skill forced into the song, but there's a BKB from Hakoda. He blinks forward. He nightmares up low skill. There will be an Abyssal Blade coming forward, but Yuma coming forward with damage as well. Low skill has no more tools to defend himself.
Oh,
so he just goes down. They still have the grip available for this ledge rack. They jump on him. They should be able to kill him off. Blaze will throw in an impressive looking chakram. It almost kills Yuma. It actually does kill Yuma, but that's only life number 1, my friend. He's coming back for some more. They do bring down Divine Llama. The Ice Blast plus the damage from Laze, more than enough to kill him. But unfortunately, as Laze dies, he's the only one with buyback still remaining on his squad. He will use it, but 2v5 or 2v4 rather, I don't know if you can make this one happen. This would be the hold of the Sentry Fluke. And they go in, Hex onto Sven, but at the same time, Yonoko jumps in, tossing Eki towards the Death Prophet. This time around, there is going to be an Aeon Disc to keep the Bane alive, or the AA alive. Bane is still very healthy. And Lace can't do anything. They're just ignoring him. They're like, well, what now, mates? You can pull up, you can try and stop us, but you do not have the damage. And if you jump us, you don't have the HP to survive said jump. You will be able to just quickly pick off this Bane Elemental. This time Hakoda not looking so healthy. Does buy back though. The Yonoko jumping in, finding the Avatars onto Eki. And Eki right in front of Yuma. They clean him up. That is just one less hero to worry about. Blaze does pop his BKB. They really want to kill this Timber. He really wants to defend his base. They're definitely not going to allow him to do so though. As Sven almost dies to some of the chakram damage. Sweet and Strong just came back just to die. And they throw back Laze. They take away his life. They take away this game. And they force us to a deciding game 3. GG, well played is called. D2 Hustlers have done it. The nice patch comes out at the very end there. The Llama's like...